The way to think differently is to act differently and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Welcome to the Unlearn podcast, where host Barry O'Reilly seeks to synthesize the superpowers of extraordinary individuals into actionable strategies you can use to think big, start small, and learn fast, and find your edge with excellence. Here's your host, Barry O'Reilly.
Over 2,000 years ago, the seed of a civilization, a startup if you will, sprang into being over 7 hills in Central Europe. And that startup would go on to scale and sustain itself for over 500 years and become one of the greatest economic and cultural powers the Earth has ever seen. At its prime, the Roman Empire occupied more than 2 million square miles and included approximately 20% of the world's population. For centuries, scholars have bemused over what could have brought Rome such tremendous success. Was it the empire's visionary leaders, its prime location on the Tiber River, its engineering feats of roads and aqueducts, or simply its laws of governance? In fact, it was none of these. As philosopher Baron de Montesquieu explained, the Roman Empire's success could in part be traced back to having fought successfully against many peoples. They always gave up their own practices as soon as they found ones better than their own. And this unique ability to adapt to new circumstances in the environment by unlearning what had brought them success in the past to succeed in the future enabled this civilization to start up, scale up, and sustain itself by letting go of the past to achieve extraordinary results, until it didn't. My inspiration to create the Unlearn podcast came from what I frequently find to be a significant inhibitor when helping high-performance individuals get better. Not the ability to learn new things, but the inability to unlearn mindsets, behaviors, or methods that were effective but now limit success. There comes a time in every individual's life when doing the things that brought you success in the past no longer deliver the same results. You wake up, walk into the office, sit down at your desk just like you always have, but suddenly you're stuck, stagnating, unsatisfied, or struggling with what you always thought was your secret to success. You might find yourself asking, why am I not living up to my expectations? Why can't I solve this problem? Why do I constantly avoid taking on this particular challenge? The world evolves, conditions change, and new norms emerge. And instead of adapting, people find themselves stuck in patterns and thinking and behaving. Most don't realize until the situation and reality bites. And this is the paradox of success. One of the first references to the idea of organizational unlearning was in an article by Bo Henberg in 1981. According to Henberg, knowledge grows, and simultaneously it becomes obsolete as reality changes. Understanding involves both learning new knowledge and discarding obsolete and misleading knowledge. You see, the truth is, disruption doesn't actually apply to organizations. The real truth is, it applies to individuals. Consider what great leaders and great companies have in common. They've cultivated a capability in themselves to innovate, adapt, and anticipate the future. They invest in experiences that enable them to grow. They seek situations that are uncomfortable, uncertain, and the results unknown. They create mechanisms to experiment quickly and safely, gather new information to evolve into something better. They succeed over the long term by not holding on to what once brought them success. And how they succeed isn't magical, it's methodical. It's not down to serendipity or luck. They have intentional systems. In my own experience working all around the world with executives and teams, from disruptive startups to globally renowned behemoths of the Fortune 500, I've seen firsthand the struggle both great and growing leaders face as they seek to lead innovation in their markets. It prompted me to co-author my first book, the international bestseller Lean Enterprise, How High-Performance Organizations Innovate at Scale, for Eric Ries's series. It gave me the opportunity to interview, work with, advise and coach hundreds of business and technology leaders, and to research thousands of companies and case studies to discover what leads to high performance and outstanding accomplishments. I've seen firsthand what enables leaders to accelerate and what makes others stop in their tracks. In times past, an individual's knowledge would last a lifetime. Indeed, knowledge would be passed down for many generations and still be highly useful. Yet as the pace of innovation increases, once useful knowledge now becomes rapidly obsolete. Hence, we need to consider a system of unlearning. Exceptional leaders have discovered it's not how smart they are, how much they know, how long they've been in an industry, or what they've even learned. It's their ability to recognize when to unlearn, when to let go of the past, of their outdated thinking and behaviors, and innovate their mindsets and methods to achieve extraordinary results. Yes, learning is one part, but the answer is not only to learn. What we struggle with even more is to know when to let go, move away, and unlearn. I define unlearning as the process of letting go, reframing and moving away from once useful mindset and acquired behaviors that were effective in the past but now limit our success. It's not forgetting, removing, or discarding knowledge or experience. It's the conscious act of letting go of outdated information and actively engaging in taking in new information to inform effective decision-making and action. And in this podcast, we'll dig deeper into the practices of unlearning, what it is, why you should adopt it, and how you can leverage its tremendous power for yourself, your teams, and your organizations. If you already feel you've unlearned before, great. I'll teach you how to do it intentionally. If not, I'll teach you how to practice it deliberately. I'll show you how to think big but start small, and why choosing courage over comfort can take you to places you never imagined possible. You'll see how tackling uncertainty can lead you to exponential growth and impact. And I will provide you with a proven system of unlearning, one which I've used to coach hundreds of business leaders to extraordinary results, by helping them recognize what brought success in the past and no longer does, and then relearn what you need to achieve the endless breakthroughs to help you succeed in the future.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Unlearn podcast. Help us get the word out and make this podcast a success by subscribing and leaving a review.